In his latest column, Jeremy Clarkson shared his thoughts on the monarchy amid growing calls from left-wing critics to have it abolished. Jeremy Clarkson has taken a swipe at lefties amid growing calls for an end to the monarchy. This comes amid a wave of public backlash following revelations that King Charles has profited millions from NHS parking fees on his private land. Recent reports have revealed that the Duchy of Lancaster, the monarch's private property empire, is charging an NHS trust at least £11. £4 million in rent over the next 15 years to store its ambulances. However, Clarkson argues that replacing the king with an elected head of state would lead to chaos, saying that in recent months the U.S. voters were left choosing between a madman and a madwoman. He said in a column for The Times, "Lefties don't like royals and want to be rid of them as quickly as possible after seizing power." I mean, look what happened shortly after the Russian Revolution. The protestarmers decided it would be a good PR coup if the inside of the Tsar's head was turned into a sort of Jackson Pollock wallpaper. And with the ultimate symbol of privilege gone, there was no maypole for the royalists to rally round, which meant the bread queues could form in an orderly fashion. While many have been outraged by the drama that has unfolded, Jeremy Clarkson pointed to none other than LBC presenter James O'Brien, a prominent left-wing commentator. Clarkson later joked that O'Brien was so outraged by the news of King Charles profiting from NHS parking fees that he looked as though the king had run amok in a church with a sword. He quipped, "He is the funniest man on the internet because he always acts like he truly can't understand why the whole world doesn't share his views." And the car park really set him off. More even than Boris and Donald and Brexit. Quote, in the end, the Clarkson's farm star went on to speculate on what might happen if Britain elected a head of state, imagining it would likely come down to familiar yet polarizing figures, saying, "Maybe now is a good time to wonder what would happen if the king was no longer our head of state." We'd need an elected president instead, and that rarely works out. I mean, look at America. But in reality, Nigel Farage would be on the list, adding, "The voters like familiarity." And they would need to be from the shouty end of the mad left. Which leads me to suggest Carol Vorderman. He finished by saying, "So there's your choice, Mr. O'Brien. President Farage or President Vorderman? Or would you rather keep King Charles? Right." Good. Move on.